Hello and welcome back. This is your cncHD and we are now watching the final results of the AI scripting tournament, which I recently hosted on Community Outpost. The scripters participants were required to script their own AI from scratch. No template whatsoever was given there for them. They started completely new and fresh, and the AI wasn't allowed to cheat a single cent. Just a few for the bug fixing with the extra collectors and a bit of other buggy stuff, but besides that, no cheating at all. Not all AIs got submitted in the final submission date, and yeah, I'm talking to you, Miso. So we are only seeing 5 participants, actually 6, because 2 worked together on one project. And let's see how these 6 participants performed with the AI. Let me get up my notes. So first off, let me talk about how I judge these AIs. We have 4 categories. The first and the big one will be the build order. This is 40 out of 100 points. So what do I check there? I check the build order of your AI. If it makes sense what your AI does, for example, it goes for 2 supply centers, goes for 2 dozers, and immediately rushes out a rush troop to attack your enemy's base. They expand on their bases, they go for a 3rd and a 4th supply, that kind of stuff. So the build order of your AI. And if it doesn't make sense, then you will lose a lot of points on this topic. This is the first big one I'm going to check. The next one is the creativity. This one is 30 out of 100 points. The creativity is based on your AI scripting efforts. So are there any creative moments? For example, do you use dragon tanks to create a flame wall against enemy soldiers and buildings? Is there a Comanche doing like a rocket pod attack? Maybe do you drop stuff with your Chinook on the front line or behind the back of your enemy? Is your listening outpost evacuating his troops when he is nearly destroyed? That kind of stuff. Also laser locks, terror attacks, everything which is creative. And this is 30 out of 100 points. This is the second biggest point in the judgment. The third one is team complexity with scripts. This goes hand in hand with creativity, so I will have a look at the generic tab and your behavior tab. So to show you that, if we go to the world builder, for example here, I have the super weapon general open as an example. If we go here to the Humvees and I go here in and check. So do you have like that in here going on? 40, 40, 40, 40, 40 of like everything. He just builds and then attacks. Or do you just have here 2 and use a merge script with other teams? And do you use priorities? Do you use here the maximum quantities of the teams? Do you go for the behavior tab? How do you use the behavior tab? Do you work with the generic tab? Is there any stuff in there which you use to check the conditions of your teams? Do you only have like hunt scripts in there? Is every team just going for a hunt and nothing else? So that's the kind of stuff I check with the complexity of your teams. And the last point is the scripting structure. So if we go into the scripts, I check how your AI is built up in the structure here. So does it begin with an air force on the beginning so that it is very structured when you speak to the scripts, so to say, with your scriptings, your scripts, your subscripts or whatever? And do you have any comments in your scripts? And how are they named? Do they make sense in the naming, or do you just go with ASDF scripts? You just go with that and be done with it. I checked that kind of stuff here. That gives you 10 points. That is in total 100 points. Okay, so much about the basic background of my judgment formula. Can I say it like that? Not sure. We now go into the first participant. Let me get up my notes really quick. The first participant is Miru. Miru selected a GLA. We'll check on it really quick. This is the map. Come on, I don't have that many maps. I should see it right on. There we are. Okay, let me quickly check what AI he had. He had a standard GLA vanilla. Okay, so let's see how his GLA vanilla performs while I do the talking.
More volunteers for my experiments.
Yeah, this AI talks.
My toxins and your troops certainly have chemistry, huh?
It is funny how he did that. I give him that. It is very creative to put that in, but come on. It's an AI meant for multiplayer and for all the YouTube videos out there to show the people, hey, that's your AI. It shouldn't talk. I don't want to be that guy, but that is a huge reduction on your score, Miro. That you chosen to let your AI talk. I get the point, but I will start with the build order. Does your build order make sense? And I have made the following notes. Your AI goes for a big secondary economy. So I put a lot of weight on that. So it gave you a lot of points that it goes for a big secondary economy. It goes for expansions. It tries to protect the expansions. Just not that well, but it tries it. It goes for the oil derricks. Builds more than one arms dealer in the end. We'll see that here in a bit. So here we can see 2 supply stashes, which it built. It doesn't go for a command center cell. It has just 1 barracks right now, just 1 arms dealer right now. A very, very, very early palace. I mean, that is super early. Goes for a 3rd supply stash though. And now it goes for the black markets at like the 5-minute mark. But that palace is like way too early. I think it's like on the 2-minute mark. That's way too early. It makes no sense. The AI will go for all upgrades when it's given the time to do so. It will expand here on the secondary economy. So like I said in the beginning, this gave you a lot of points here, that it actually goes for a lot of secondary economy and tries to establish a nice second economy. Yeah, I'm now repeating myself. Now we come to the minus points. So there's no command center cell at the beginning and whatsoever. So there's absolutely no command center cell. There are not many tunnels for the protection. I'm just not seeing any. Here he goes for a double supply stash build on 1 supply, so there's no check to see if there's already a supply stash in place. Just absolutely no tunnels here. 1 tunnel here. Here's absolutely no tunnel. The units are just standing there. There's no tunnel. So yeah, the protection is really not that great. It goes for a Scud Storm, but it should concentrate more on the units, I think. There goes the secondary arms dealer, so it does go for more arms dealers. That's a plus point. But the minus point is that there are not many units. I mean, he goes for attacks, but the attack waves are not really that big. He doesn't float, so that is okay. But the red guy, he floats big time. 15k, I mean, that is unacceptable. Yeah, overall, I think the build order was pretty good, decent. But there's a lot of way to improve here. We speed that up a little bit more to see how he builds on that. There was a lot more improvement here to see. We'll also watch here the teams. There's not much going on with the teams. I mean, it's pretty small with the teams. And toxin tractors. I mean, why are there toxin tractors even? For what reason do we have toxin tractors? I get it, to clean the tunnel, a garrison, but there are constantly toxin tractors in use. And yeah, now it goes for the secondary economy. When it has time, it will actually do stuff. Now it's going to spend its cash. We check his money. He is now from 15k down to 0 because he spends it all. So if you let him in peace, he will build. But if he's under pressure, he will not build and stack up his money. And he will not build up so many troops. I mean, that is not a lot. We are 20 minutes. This is really not a lot. Okay, now I come to the other points. So, build order, the first point, which gives you 40 points. I gave you 34 points out of 40, but I reduced it by 3 because you used taunts, your AI talks, and that gave you 3 minus points. So in total, you are at 34 out of 40 points. I will write that down here so we can keep track of that stuff. I have it all on my secondary monitor, but I don't want to show the second monitor because there's a lot of stuff which you do not should see off the Discord. Because I have admin rights there in the Discord and there are a lot of hidden channels and you shouldn't see them. So I'm putting it here on my recording screen. So Miro, first point, first category, build order, 40 points. He got 34 out of 40, minus the 3 for the taunts, makes 31 points out of 40. Okay. Now we come to the second point, which is the creativity. And yeah, this is a bit unprofessionally done, but I don't have an editing program anymore because it was too expensive. Creativity, I mean, you get what I mean. Creativity, now I mess up. 30 points. Okay, in the creativity, I made the following notes. There just isn't any creativity in this AI. Some script names are funny. He uses taunts of the toxin general, and he builds. His build is in goodwill. You will see that his base is built up very well. So he goes for expansions, he goes for the black markets, he goes for a second arms dealer. He knows what he's doing in the base building, but it's just not that great. And the taunts really turn out to be very annoying. So overall, I will just give it 5 out of 30 points because the teams are not there. And there just isn't that much creativity. It's just not there. I don't see it there that much. Then we come to the third category, which is the team complexity. That one gave you 20 points. For the team complexity, yeah, there is just not that much. There isn't any complexity in this AI. It just uses the hunt script a lot. We can look that up in a bit. The attack waves make absolutely no sense. I mean, why are there 3 toxin characters attacking? Why are they even there? The attack waves are too weak. You saw the attack waves. That was not that much. And in the end, it's just rocket buggies. We didn't see the end, but I checked the end. He just goes for rocket buggies, and the rocket buggies have no rocket buggy upgrade. The rocket buggy upgrade isn't even existent in the scripts. He didn't even script that in. And the Jam Cal also seems to not be enjoying his life, as he's just running around with a basic hunt script, and that is all. So if we look up his map, that is the map he sent me with the test scripts. And if we look up his teams, that is all what he has as teams, so not that much. And there is just nothing going on here. It's just hunt. 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 Everything is just hunt. All we see here is hunting, 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 hunting. So yeah, that is not that great. And that gave you 3 out of 20 points. Then for the scripting structure, the layout, how your scripting structure is looking. $10 points. It looks very structured, but there are no script comments. But overall, it looks very structured. If you look at here, it has all the corresponding names in here. So GLA vanilla, conditions, priority, behaviors, setup, blah, 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 blah. It goes for the subcategories: GLA vanilla, behavior capture, behavior attack, behavior defend, behavior weak. So the structure is there. It's very well organized, but there are no script comments. So what I mean with script comments, these things here. This script does that and that because that and that. That is completely not there. It's completely missing in here. But overall, pretty good script layout for the scripts which are there. And for that, you gained 9 out of 10 points. So in total, you gained 48 out of 100 points. That is my final judgment for Miru's submitted AI. Overall, great job, but needs to be a bit tougher. It needs more action. It needs a better scripting with the build order so that he actually spends his cash when he has the money and is under pressure. He needs to spend the cash. He should go for the command center cell and yeah, all that stuff which I previously mentioned. Next one is Davey. Davey went for the tank general. And you know me, I love China. I really like to see Chinese units. We'll now check on the tank general here on AI Vendetta, the edited version of me. Okay, let me quickly get up my notes here. So, what can we see on Davey's tank base? We can see he goes for 2 dozers. He goes for his main supply. He covers it up with a Gatling turret. He goes for the supply trucks. I mean, they are automatically built, so that is automatically done by the game. He goes instantly for rush flamers. He goes for a secondary supply center. He does not sell his command center. It stays there put, which is okay. I mean, some players leave it there. And he constantly now builds units. The dragons come in, he builds a second Gatling turret at his second supply. His base will be protected with a few units. There are always units here to protect. He goes for a propaganda center at the 3-minute mark, which is okay. I mean, he's a tank general, it makes kind of sense. What I'm missing here is a secondary war factory. I mean, with all these Gatling turrets, it's fine, but there should really be a secondary war factory for a tank general. He could have way more tanks if he would go for a second war factory. And that's a really big minus point. Also, a very big minus point is that he will not go for a secondary economy. So, hackers. He does not go for hackers. Absolutely not. He will now go for a Black Lotus here with this barracks. He has the propaganda center for that. He does not go for the Red Guards with the capture. He just skips that and goes for the Black Lotus, which is totally fine. So he kind of has some sort of secondary economy, but once the oil derricks are gone, he is out of money. He doesn't have anything anymore to gain money through. And that is kind of sad. Because his tank general really performs very well. But if he runs out of money, he is out of money. No return back. Okay, now we are at the 6-7 minute mark. He goes for the second war factory. That is really late for a tank general. There's the third supply center now in place. The 6-7 minute mark. So he does expand with the supply centers. He goes for the general promotions. He goes for the upgrades. We see the chain gun upgrade. He will also go for the Battlemaster upgrade very soon. He has the Black Napalm upgrade in place, so he does go for the upgrades. He has ECM tanks in place. And we see constant aggression by this tank general. I mean, this attack is not the wisest to see, but he actually goes for an attack. That Black Lotus really was stealing him a lot of stuff. I mean, we saw him in action in the AI tournament I recorded with Anthrax. So we know what this AI is capable of, what he's doing. We know that and we have that in mind. Okay, that's a big blob. So based on that, I now read what I gave plus points for and what I gave minus points for. So plus points. He goes for a second supply center in the beginning. He protects his supplies with 1 Gatling turret each. He goes for a third supply center at minute 3. Goes for a propaganda center at minute 3, so early attacking. Good attack waves, constantly attacking on all fronts. Black Lotus always delivering good action. Goes for upgrades. Oil capture with Lotus. 4th supply center after like 11 minutes, so we should see a 4th supply center here. Yeah, there it is. 4th supply center. So he has 4 supply centers here. And he does not float. He always builds. If I check him now, he is always building. He never floats. And that is something I really like about this AI. It's constantly doing stuff. Till it runs out of money. Now, here are the minus points. No command center cell at the beginning. Whatsoever. There's no command center cell. The AI does not protect its base that well. So for example, one dragon was able to sit in the base for 1 or 2 minutes and destroy a power plant, and the AI didn't care at all. That was my test run. So in my test run, the AI just let the dragon tank destroy its power plant and didn't protect it that well. A secondary war factory comes after only 6 minutes in game, and there is no secondary economy. Yeah, so that's all about the points I made for the build order. We keep on speeding this up a bit more, see what the AI is doing. It is now run out of money. You can see that now it has no money, will not do anything anymore. Only doing stuff with the command center now. He has the money, he is expanded now to a 5th supply center, so he's getting some sort of income. But there are no hackers. Absolutely no hackers. Okay, with that in mind, we now come to the judging. So first off, build order. Here I gave you 29 out of 40 points because of the things I just mentioned. Now with the creativity, I will read for you what I written down there. The creativity, I written down the following. The AI uses attack priorities very well. Tank hunters focus on the tanks rather than on infantry. Gatlings focus down infantry, but besides that, there isn't any outstanding creativity, just blob and kill. So 7 out of 30 points I gave you here. It's just a blob and kill game for your AI. I really liked the attack priorities. That was really well done. But besides that, it's just a blob and kill. Next we come to the third category, the team complexity. Here I've written down the following. A good amount of thought and work went into this. The team merges, they check conditions and facts. They are using attack priorities a lot, like I just mentioned. They blob up with merging. A good amount of checks on the if, then, and else conditions. The generic tab is in use with merge. Lotus also checks stuff quite often, and overall pretty damn good job here. So if we check his AI in the map, we go to the tank general. You can see all these if, then, and else conditions here. So he puts a lot of effort into the then and else conditions. He also added in the script comments to explain what he's doing there, why and when. So that is something I really liked. So there's really a lot of effort in here. If you also check on the teams, I mean, there are not many teams, but the teams are really well designed. There's the checks here. Goes for all the checks, doesn't have that big teams. He prepared the merging. Yeah, he overall goes for a really nice scripting overall. I mean, there's a bit of hunt here, but hunt is always there. I mean, you can't just remove the hunt completely. But overall, pretty well done job here on the scripting part with everything. So for that, he gained 20 out of 20 points. Now we come to the last category. The last category, we just saw it, it's a very structured script tree. He really put in a lot of effort into the scripting naming. He added script comments almost everywhere. There's almost everywhere a script comment explaining why he's doing that and when. Every folder has his corresponding name of the army, so the tank general, and every subscript has the tank category in it. So overall, 10 out of 10 points. Really well written down AI. In total, I gave him 66 out of 100 points. Pretty well done, AI. Would like to see more of it. Same with Miro's AI. Especially with the secondary economy, so that it doesn't run out of money. That was kind of sad to see. It always kills itself with running out of money. Next in the line is BKR. BKR went with the Demolition General. We will now have a quick look on this AI. I mean, we also saw it in the AI tournament, but we will also have a quick look in here. slot in the demo general on AI Vendetta. Okay, for BKR, he goes for a very quick command center cell. He did that through putting the command center as a team and then selling team through the scripts. That was really really creatively done. Really liked how he did the command center cell in the scripting. He goes for early aggression with the technicals. He has 2 supply stashes early on, a barracks and an arms dealer and a few tunnels, so looks really real. He goes for the terror attacks. I mean, we saw all of that stuff in the previous recorded AI tournament, so we know what he's doing. So we have 4 technicals incoming, blobbing and attacking. He tries to attempt loading up the RPGs into the technicals, but I feel like this is a bit messed up. And he's not loading up the RPGs into the technicals. I feel like there's a bit of a bug there going on, or maybe I imported it wrongly, I don't know. Third supply station is being built, a black market is being built at the like 5-minute mark. So he goes for the upgrades, he goes for the oil capture, very quick. Okay, currently he's not attacking that much, but in the AI tournament he was attacking a lot, so we know what he's capable of. He always goes for these random demo traps at the front, which is really interesting to consider doing it. He also has many scripts to secure these buildings, but they kind of not work because they are named buildings, but you're written in the script comments that they should work, but here they do not work. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but yeah, he has building securing scripts, but they kind of not work at my vision. I think that is currently a bug here in this game. With the blobbing, normally he doesn't blob that much. You can see that he goes for secondary economy. He snipes units. And overall he does a lot of things with this AI. Yeah, normally he should attack a bit more. Okay, with that being in mind, I will now go over the judgment. First off, lots of plus points for the CC cell. So if you check the map really quick. The demo general. Here we can see it. He put the command center as a team. And then he went through the scripting to sell this team. So that was really well done. Used for initial sell-off. He also added in comments here in the teams, which I really like. He explained a lot of stuff here. I've really liked that. Very structured. Also lots of teams here. He even uses stolen doses and then builds reactors with the stolen doses. So that is really cool in this AI. Let's go over the build order really quick. So like I said, he sells the CC very early on. He pushes early with terror tags and RPG tags if they work. Here they didn't work, but in the AI tournament recording they worked. He goes for 2 supply stashes with a bit of a delay. He builds a 3rd expansion later on. He tags up at like 4-5-minute mark with a palace. Has an early oil capture. He hit and run with the rocket buggies. That is really nice to see. He has a hit and run tactic with his rocket buggies. Check that here really quick. Demolition general behavior. Now I'm just blind. Team actions. Is it team actions? There, retreat. So he has that in here. Team status fire, retreat. So he has this hit and run with the buggy. That is something I really like. So that gave him a plus point. And the AI can be a threat if it wants to, with battle buses and etc. Now, plus and minus point, so it's a bit of both, is that he goes for a secondary economy, but very, very weak. It depends on the attacks he's receiving throughout the game. So if he's under pressure, he will not go for a secondary economy. If he's left alone, he will go for a nice secondary economy. So a bit like the Miro situation. Now for the minus points, I gave him a big one because of the very, very late upgrades around the 10-minute mark. He then starts upgrading. Does not rebuild the base in the test run. So in my test run, he didn't rebuild with 20k cash in the bank account. We can check now. How money does he have in the bank account? 1,500. Okay, here he's spending everything. In my test run, he didn't. And he was floating quite a bit. Yeah, he seems to be alright. Spending all the cash. But I tested it quite a bit and he was always on floating mission. Yeah, he goes for the command center cell here, rebuild here now. Command center rebuild. Builds up his secondary economy. So overall pretty good build up here. Also pretty strong attack forces. Pretty good stuff there. Okay, weird. This time it doesn't float. He doesn't use the RPG technicals, but this time he doesn't float. This game is so weird sometimes. But yeah, weak attacks in the mid and late game. Here we saw big attacks now, but they will weaken later. So it could be a bit bigger, the attacks. And a bunch of RPGs standing in the base idle, about 9 or 10. I think we just saw that here as well, that the RPGs stand idle there. Overall, I gave him 31 out of 40 points. For the build order. Now the second category. Here I've written down the following: the creativity. Very creative to use a team for the command center cell as a GLA. Nice work on the hit and run rocket buggies. Battle buses evacuates when destroyed. Good use of the terror tags. Builds power when successfully stolen a dozer. Rebuilds CC, so command center, at level 3. We just saw that here in the game. And very complex scripting for the teams with explanations in the scripts. For that, I gave him 20 out of 30 points. Okay. Third category, team complexity. I've written down the following. The teams could be a bit bigger. I feel like the AI is way too weak. The scripting behind it is complex and well done, with good amount of explanations to it. So we just saw that here in the world builder. The rocket buggies and battle buses, for example, speak for themselves. Yeah, we just saw that here. There's a lot of merging going on. Attack priorities are in use. This AI looks very professional. I gave him 20 points for that. And for the scripting structure, because of all the effort he has put in, I gave him the 10 out of 10 points. In total, he received 81 out of 100 points in total. Overall, very well done AI. Really good job. And I would really like to see more of it in the future. Next, we have Anthrax. Anthrax submitted free Anthrax submitted 3 AIs to me. A GLA Vanilla, an Air Force, and an Infantry. He said to me that the Infantry is the best, the Air Force the weakest, and the GLA is in between. So I had a closer look at the Infantry General, but also had a slighter look on the Air Force and the GLA Vanilla, but closer look was on the infantry. So let's start off with the first category by first looking at this AI. Infantry. Or maybe let's put in GLA. Infantry versus GLA, because he has submitted so many AIs. Okay, for the infantry, there's a lot of stuff going on in this infantry base. He goes for second supply center early on. He also plays it correctly. He will go for an airfield early on, and he goes for a third supply center. He goes for the Echo Boom. Also well done, placed here on the third supply stash. Sometimes there is the thing that the scripting leads to you placing 2 supply centers at 1 dock, and he successfully denied that through scripting and checking. So he builds these supply centers correctly. Uses a few bunkers, he also fills them up. Uses Gatling turrets. His GLA sells the command center early on. He goes for a terror attack, which we see now, I think. I think it was a terror attack, not sure. But he goes for a terror attack with a GLA. Also, GLA goes for 3 supply stashes. Here's the next supply center. He also expands on the expansions with barracks and war factories, Gatling turrets and stuff. So lots of stuff happening in this infantry base. So oil capture happening very early. We are now on 4 supply centers. Propaganda center isn't built at the 6-minute mark. Second war factory, 3 barracks. Mixer constantly in action. With a hunt mode, I think. So yeah, pretty good stuff going on here. Then he uses the hackers very well. He spreads them out. He has invented a scripting method to let these hackers spread out a little. So they don't just stand there on one blob. They go to other directions. So he hides behind the propaganda center. This guy hides behind the command center, so yeah, he spreads them out very well. That was really well done with the scripting. I really like that. Very impressive how he did that with the hackers. Looks very realistic. Like a real person would do. Also has a nuke silo here. Goes for the upgrades. Here we see all upgrades. So yeah, very strong AI. Constant action, uses his general promotions. I mean, not at best, but if he uses it correctly, he uses it correctly. So overall, pretty good build order. Yeah, he goes for more and more hackers. That is really well done here with the hackers. Okay, so now let's go to the judgment. Am I recording? I'm recording, okay. That would be hilarious if I wouldn't record. Okay, first category. So he received a lot of plus points for very fast spread out, constantly expanding, advancing. Does not build 2 supply centers at 1 supply dock. So like I said, he has that covered with the scripting that he doesn't build 2 supply centers at 1 dock. He goes for a free supply Echo Boom. He overall operates very aggressive, logic, and fast. We just saw that with the hackers and the expansions. He does that very well and logically. The Helix Rush is also there. He does a Helix Rush. He does a fast oil capture. He has fast tech, fast second economy, and fast upgrades. and he got a few minus points for a bit too many bunkers. It's not that big of an issue, but it's just my personal taste. I really didn't like these many defenses, but that's just me being me. I mean, that's the kind of stuff you see when you only have one judge in the tournament. If we would have a few more judges, maybe they would have judged differently, but I gave 3 minus points for these many bunkers. Defenses. I just didn't like it that much. Overall, I gave him 38 out of 40 points. Okay, I just gave him 2 minus points, not 3. 2 minus points for the bunkers. So 38 out of 20 points. Next off, the creativity. He goes for the Helix Rush. His dozers have scripts to be in constant action mode. There are also scripts in place to avoid 2 supply centers on one dock, like I said before. A built-in script to check if the base is on alert mode or not to defend it. Then the hackers will spread out to not blob up and hack on different places. We just saw that. He uses merging with teams, and his GLA goes for terror attacks. His USA Air Force goes for laser lock. Overall, the basics are in there, and there are some really nice things, like the hackers spread out and such. But I feel like personally there could be a bit more of creativity, just a tiny little bit more. But overall, pretty well done job. I would give him 19 out of 30 points here for all the great effort. But I kind of have the feeling, comparing it with the other contenders, participants, that there could be a bit more. It's just me personally. It's just my personal feeling. Maybe I'm too biased here, I don't know. Like I said, it's a bit hard if you only have one judge. Okay, third category, team complexity. There's a lot going on in the scripts. It's a well thought out AI, which does its job. However, compared with the other participating AIs, there is more room to improve with more complexity in the teams, plus behavior. But that's just my luxury thoughts about this AI. So overall, job well done, and I would give him 17 out of 20 points. I mean, there is a lot of stuff going on in his scripts. We look there at the infantry. I mean, not just exactly the make because it's just on hunt mode, but here the early spam, for example. He tried the flame wall. I don't think that worked that well. So yeah, he has put in some thought here. I mean, that was just a hunt script. But yeah, he put in a few thoughts here. But overall, I think there could be a tiny little bit more. Just a tiny little bit. But besides that, good job here on the scripting behavior, especially with the hackers. So for that, 17 out of 20 points. And the fourth category, the scripting structure. I gave him 8 out of 10 points because there are absolutely no script comments. The AI looks very structured, put a lot of effort in there. Looks all very great, but there just isn't any comment. There is no comment at all. If I switch through here, there is just 0 script comments, like none. Only one, I think, for the bug coverage with the extra money, but besides that, absolutely no script comments. For that, he received 2 minus points and landed on 8 out of 10 points. In total, he received 82 out of 100 points. So 1 point above BKR's Demolition General. Now we come to the final participants, and that is Dark, OZ Darker, and ZX. Both worked in a team on their Super Weapon General. Let's watch the Super Weapon General to see the action. Because there's a little bug on my side. I think I'm not importing the scripts very well. There is always an importing problem with the AI. So I just used their testing map, which is this map, Aquatic Paradise. Here we will watch these two Super Weapon Generals go at it really quick. I mean, really quick is good. They will do what they like to do, which is build SimCity. Overall, for the beginning, let's see the beginning. They go for the command center cell. They go for the supply center, war factory barracks, second supply center. And then they go for an EMP Patriot and a rush Humvee. There's always a Humvee which rushes with one Hellfire drone on it. That is always happening. Here's the EMP Patriot, and a third EMP Patriot. He goes for the very fast oil capture. And he also uses a Humvee to protect his oil capture here. I saw that in the previous test run. Now he is not doing it, but in the previous test run I saw that he used the Humvee to protect this Ranger. While he was there we go. He protects the Ranger to capture the oils. That is something really nice I liked here. There he follows him like a little pet, like a little cat of the Ranger. It's something nice here. Now he goes for the expansions. And yeah, now SimCity begins. There's a lot of SimCity going on. We just saw the Hold the Line coming up at like the 4 or 5 minute mark. And I can now fast forward it because there is just madness going on right now with SimCity. I will call it SimCity because I have no other words for it but SimCity. There's just one drop zone after another with the upgrade, which I like to see, the cash upgrade. But yeah, constantly building. For the attacks, there isn't much attacks going on here. Just these few Humvees attacking the oils, but that's about it. The Humvees stay in the base. There are lots and lots and lots of supply drop zones, particle cannons, airfields. He just puts it down everywhere. Defenses. Lots and lots of defenses. This is just nuts going on here. Another expansion. I mean, look at this expansion. Particle, reactor, supply, reactor, artillery, AMP, drop zone. This is just madness. What this AI has in place is his stars, dozer hunting scripts. He has a script dedicated to the player's stars, and they will dozer hunt constantly. So one of these two AIs will be dozer hunted in a bit, because these Auroras go for a dozer hunt sometimes. They don't have these particle cans to mess up at the moment. But there are a lot of dozers at the moment, but we will see some dozer hunts in a bit, and then one player will be without any dozers, which is really awesome for an AI to do. Yeah, lots of Aurora Alphas, like the gunship comes in, of course. You can see the AI is constantly spending its cash. We just heard What is this guy? This guy's face called Colonel Burton. We just heard the Colonel Burton dropping a few bombs. So that's also a thing which is happening here. Burton dropping bombs. There he is. So yeah, constant banning here. He just spent 10k in one go. And you will notice that there are 0 cash crates laying around here on the ground. Okay, there's now 1 cash crate, and now it's gone. Yeah, there's the... I think now he's in dozer hunt mode on these dozers. So what they have in mind in place here is a script for the rangers. I think it's this guy here. He goes around and collects the misthrown cash crates. So if you look these cash crates, there will be a ranger here shortly. Or he just placed down a scaffold on it, never mind. But yeah, he has rangers to check on these thrown down supply cash crates to collect them. So he gains every single bit of cash here. I find that very creative. Oh, something really nice to see. Okay, besides that, we haven't seen a single major attack wave. Just the Aurora Alphas and the attempt of a particle gun. Besides that, the Humvees blob in the base and defend. Command center is still in place, so we haven't seen the stars dozer hunt yet. Also, there's constant laser lock by the missile defenders, which I really like. They are constantly laser locking. They are never messing them up, I think. They're still building a lot. This is just building. This is just madness. I mean, this AI is just crazy. Never checked how many super weapons they actually build, but I think they will build unlimited super weapons. This expansion is now in front of the blue space. This red guy has just expanded all over the place. With a lot of dozers, but he doesn't float. He has 2k, he doesn't float. He always spends. Spend.
What's the mission, sir?
I'm not even sure why he has that many dozers, to be honest. Yeah, but besides that, let's go into the judgment. Dark, OZ Darker, and ZX. First category. Build order. Plus points. Okay, now I need to check if I'm on the correct guy. Yeah, ma'am. So plus points. He sells the they sell the CC very early on. Extremely strong early secondary economy build-up. A lot of supply drop zones and expansions. Lots and lots of expansions, like I just said. 2 supply center, 1 war factory, 1 barracks build-up, plus a super weapon General Patriot, EMP Patriot. I find that a bit boring, but it's a valid strategy, so I will just give them that they are bunkering. I mean, bunkering as a super weapon general is a valid strategy, so if they want to go that route, they should go that route. They have a fast oil capture, fast strategy center at the 4-minute mark. They rebuild the CC after 5 minutes, so the command center. They spread out 2 more supply docks throughout the game, like we just saw, and they use units as support to protect the expansions and oil capture. Now a plus-minus point is the attempt of a rush with 1 Humvee and a Hellfire drone. That is not really that much. I mean, they tried it, but it's not that much. It could be more. And now I have 3 big minus points, which is the first one. The AI feels a bit too heavy focused on SimCity. Not many units are built in the early game. 3 EMPs, That's it. Feels a bit boring to me. Then the second minus point is just way too much SimCity going on without much aggression. Too much focus on economy. And the third minus point is takes about 15 to 25 minutes before the real aggression starts. So it builds up, builds up, builds up, builds up. And then when it finally has enough cash flow, it then starts to attack. And I think that's way too late. So for that, I gave them 31 out of 40 points. Next, creativity. This AI is on a wild run. The SimCity building is just all over the place with crazy checks and actions. There's also a stars dozer hunt script in there, which works very effectively to dozer hunt this other guy. The attack priorities are in place as well. The missile defenders constantly laser lock. The burden is on fire with the bomb placement in the base of the enemy. The rangers are running around collecting supply crates. I mean, how cool is that? That is really creative to have a ranger running around and collect supply crash crates. The only negative side is that we do not see that many units on the battlefield within the first 20 minutes to fully witness the very creative AI. This is a really, really good AI, but it's laying the stones in front of its feet and stumbles across it because it goes too heavy on building and not so much on building units. It should really build more units, attack more, just do more stuff, don't be so boring. For that, I gave it 24 out of 30 points. Next up, team complexity. The complexity is definitely there. Lots of generic scripts and lots of triggers plus checks. A very thought out AI. For that, I gave them 20 out of 20 points. We will look at that in a bit. The script tab and the scripting structure. Very structured. Added script comments where needed. And the structure in itself looks very detailed. So for that, they gained 10 out of 10 points. In total, 58 out of 100 points. That's 3 points more than Anthrax, and that places them on the first place. Anthrax reached the second place, and BKR the third place. Davey collected the fourth place, and Miro the last place. We'll now have a quick look at the scripts. Here we can see all the teams of the Super Weapon General with the Super Mega Java Dozer and the Mega Java Dozer and the Ultra Mega Java Dozer. And yeah, they go for the generic, they go for the behavior, they merge, they do all that stuff. The only downside is that there are not that many units on the battlefield. It feels a bit boring. The infantry general of Anthrax is way more active. Also the tank general, way more active. Also the demo general or Miro's general, they are all very active. But what brings this AI up is the whole complexity in this AI. It's so complex scripted. There's just so much going on in the Super Weapon General. There's scripts all over the place. The checking is all over the place. The behavior, generic tab, everything is just all over the place. just improve it a little more, and you will have a top AI here. So job very well done. This was my judgment video. I think you all slept in there in the end. I think it's very long. But I wanted to explain everything very detailed on how I judged everything, so that you can see as a participant what I looked at, how I judged it, and why I judged it. So this was the AI scripting tournament, hosted on Community Outpost Discord. The link to that Discord is in the description down below of the video. And I will need a big break now from that tournament, because that really took quite a lot of time to judge, and that was pretty hard. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and congratulations to the winners here. Very well done job to everyone. Everyone just did a great job in the scripting. And we'll see us in the next video. Till the next time, this is your cncHD. Goodbye.